Here is my glowy makeup routine using products that I freaking love. Plus we need to cover this baby up. Always wash your hands first, especially if you're acne prone. Your hands most likely have bacteria on them. We always start with a really nourishing and hydrating base, so I'm damping my skin because I'm then going in with a hydrating moisturizer, and hydrating ingredients actually do so much better when your skin is damp because it gives them some water to hold on to, so you will get more hydration this way. This is Summer Friday's Cloud Dew Moisturizer, and it is so glowy, so hydrating, and of course will not clog your pores. I like to give my face a few minutes to let everything soak in. So now I'm putting on nipple cream. Apparently nipple cream works great on your lips, but this one's actually meant for lips and nipples. It's by Hatch and I love it. It gives you this glossy finish and it's the perfect way to prep for lip products later on. Now a poreless primer. This is by Rare Beauty, and I only put it in the spots where I kind of want to minimize my pores, which is my forehead, my cheeks, and my chin. This stuff truly minimizes your pores, but it also creates a silky base so your foundation goes on super easily. For foundation, I want to be super glowy, so I'm mixing these two. This is SAIE Glowy Super Gel and HAUS Labs foundation. I'm shade 050 in this foundation. This foundation is literally the best. I don't even know how they came up with this formula. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. It just smooths out your skin like no other. Mix these. I think I pumped too much foundation, but dot it all over, kind of spread it all over with my hands, and I still have a lot left over. And to wipe that off, and then I continue to spread it in with my hands. By the way, I did not put on sunscreen because it's already 5 o'clock and I'm getting ready to go to dinner. But if this were the morning, I would put on sunscreen after the moisturizer. I love this foundation because it looks like you have no foundation on. I don't get how they do it. And then to settle everything in, I take this Real Techniques Expert face brush and just kind of pat it in. So because I didn't use a lot, it didn't really cover up that pimple. But don't fret because we're going in with NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, and it covers up pimples so well. Under my eyes, and then I'm putting some on the back of my hand because you really don't want to touch your pimple with this because there's acne causing bacteria on that and you can contaminate this, so not worth it. Brush it in. This concealer, it just has the most creamy, luxurious feel. You know who turned me on to this concealer? Bethany Frankel posted a video saying that this is like her favorite concealer ever. And I do love that when I'm dry, it does not accentuate any dry patches. And for that, I am thankful. You do really have to set this in place though because it's so creamy. So if you're someone that doesn't like to set your concealer in place, you may not like this one. Then I'm taking a little bit on my finger, kind of dabbing it in like that. I'm going to let it sit there. While we wait, we'll go in with some bronzer. So I usually just bronze my face instead of contouring my face really. Maybe a little contour on my nose. I feel like whenever I contour, I kind of look sickly. So I'm just trying to look like the sun hit me and not thin out my face more. If anything, I want like more fullness to my face. That's kind of my take. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. And if you're acne prone, this stuff won't clog your pores. Anything I'm using won't clog your pores. I love this one because it blends out so flawlessly. Truly changed the game for me when it came to bronzing. Swatch this. I just want to look a little sun-kissed. I feel like a lot of people, including myself, follow makeup trends without really thinking about if it'll work for their face shape or even if it works for their skin tone, because super warm products, for example, don't work for my skin tone because I have a very cool undertone. I'm using this as a bronzer, but it does have a hint of coolness to it, where people with warmer skin tones may want something with a little more warmth or oranginess to their bronzer. So I like to make sure everything is blended out nicely with no harsh lines, but still targeting the area so it looks like the sun hit me. Back to the pimple, we're taking a little fluffy brush that I only use for stuff like this, and we're just kind of tapping it and then blending it around to the surrounding areas so it just looks much more flawless. And then to seal the deal, we're going in with the NYX HD Studio Finishing Powder. And again, I don't want to contaminate this, so I'm putting a little bit on the back of my hand and then taking that same brush, tapping it. And I feel like now it's virtually undetectable, or as undetectable as it can be since it is a raised bump. You can't really camouflage a bump that much, but if you look at the before and after, it is so much better. Now for cheeks, I'm using this liquid blush. It's by Rose's Liquid Love in shade Radiance. It's a beautiful, like almost mauve color. And then I'm going to blend in the Giorgio Armani Fluid Sheer Glow Enhancer. This just makes a non-glowy blush much more glowier. The best way to do this in my experience is put a little bit on a brush, tap it out in a different spot, and then go on the cheek. This is the best way to get a smooth look without using too much. And then of course we need a little bit on the nose. I kind of like this really blushy look. You can still go overboard with liquid blushes without realizing it. So if you ever do, take your foundation brush and then just tone it down like that. But I kind of like this look anyways. And because I really did not use that much blush, it won't look cakey. Now it's time to set with powder, going back in with the NYX HD finishing powder. And you do not want to use that much with this, because if you do, you will get a little bit of flashback in pictures. So the secret is to use a very minimal amount and just kind of dab it all over. I usually put a little bit more under my eyes than the rest of my face. This stuff is like one of my favorite setting powders. I think it's $10 and it just blurs your pores so well. I feel like everyone needs to try this, but this is definitely not something you want to bake with, because baking requires a lot of this. And if you do that, you'll definitely get flashbacks. So a little goes a long way. If you have cool tone skin, you're probably always looking for cool muted eyeshadow colors, and this palette is everything I want in an eyeshadow palette and more, and it's pretty affordable. So I always start with a light color and just go all over the lid just to create an even base. Zoom in here a little bit. I want to use more of these mauve colors because that matches my blush. I'm really focusing on the corner, because when you have hooded eyes and you open them, if you put a lot of eyeshadow right here, it'll just disappear. So focusing on the corner really helps with the definition. And then taking that same color and going underneath the eyes. And taking the blending brush with the light color, and then we're just blending it out to really smooth out any harsh lines. And again, just blending it out. We're working down in darkness, and now I'm taking that darkish mauve color, kind of cat eyeing it out. And again, we're just blending that same color and going underneath. This MAC eyeshadow palette in shade Nylon is the perfect shade for your inner corners. It just really brightens up the eyes. If you want, you can add some right here too. A little goes a long way. And then at the end, to kind of define that wing, I'm taking this DIBS one liner in shade Plum, and then just kind of drawing a little bit of a wing. I like this color because it's not too dark like a black. It just kind of softens the look a bit. And then I take a flathead brush and smooth it out. I like this color over black because I feel like it kind of softens the look, where black is a little harsher. Shiseido eyelash curler is the best of the best. Anyone who tries this never looks back. It's just gives you lashes you didn't realize you had. Like, look at the difference. I love it. This next, I'm using the Jones Road mascara, and I really like this one. I wouldn't say this is my favorite. My favorite is probably the Ilia mascara, but I just ran out, so this is second best. It does pretty well. For bottom lashes, I barely put any. And then I like to end with some highlight, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Highlight Wand in shade Spotlight. Just put a little bit on my nose, a little on the bridge, right here, and right there. I just take a little brush and blend it up. Look how stunning that highlight is. I love it. And then whatever's left on the brush, I'll just do right here, because that's kind of how you get that glass skin forehead look, but you just want it really subtle. Wipe off the nipple cream. Now we're finishing off with lips. I'm using the LYS lip pencil. This is in shade Driven, and this is actually the only lip pencil I've found on Sephora that has no potential pore clogger. So if you're someone who gets little pimples around your mouth because you overline, and a lot of pencils do have pore clogging ingredients, try this one, and I haven't had any issues with it. Okay, so I start by lining, and then just to create less harshness, I kind of blend it out with my finger, or you can use a brush. Then I also like to go in with the highlighter that I used and put a little, just to kind of brighten it up a bit. I feel like this helps make my lips appear bigger too. Finishing with the NYX Butter Gloss. I love this because I go through so much gloss, and this is super affordable. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. All products will be linked in the description. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.